Rome, we picture aqueducts, legions, philosophy. Yet, beneath this grandeur, pulsed a justice system of terrifying brutality. Did you know Roman punishments could be so inventive, they made crucifixion seem almost routine? Their law, though sophisticated, unleashed cruelty designed to humiliate, erase, and send chilling messages across the empire. This journey explores three shocking methods: Poena Cullei, the penalty of the sack; Damnatio ad Bestias, condemnation to beasts; and the slow agony of crucifixion. We delve now into the calculated darkness behind Roman power and control. We begin with a punishment steeped in ritual horror: Poena Cullei, the penalty of the sack. Imagine this: sewn alive into a thick leather sack with several frantic animals, then cast into water to drown. This fate was reserved primarily for parricide, the killing of one's own father or close kin. Such an act was deemed supremely impious, a defilement known as impietas that Romans believed polluted the entire community. Before the sack, a chilling ritual unfolded. The condemned was brutally scourged, forced into clumsy wooden clogs symbolizing detachment from the earth, and their head shrouded in a veil or wolfskin, marking them an outcast, blind to the world. Then came the sack itself, an ox-hide tomb called the Culleus, shared with a terrifying menagerie: a dog, representing dishonor; a viper, symbolizing treachery; a rooster, embodying unnatural conflict; and often an ape, a grotesque caricature of humanity. Finally, the sack was hurled into the sea or a deep river. This ensured complete annihilation, denying burial, the water carrying away the pollution, offering a grim form of purification. It was death by claustrophobia, animal attack, and drowning, aimed at absolute oblivion. From this watery grave, we turn to the sun-baked horror of the arena: Damnatio ad Bestias, condemnation to beasts. Here, execution became public spectacle. Defenseless victims were thrown to starved, enraged wild animals before a roaring crowd. This punishment largely targeted the lower classes, the humiliores, along with slaves, prisoners of war, and those convicted of arson, treason, or banditry. The elite, honestores, usually faced a swifter, private death. These executions often occurred during the Ludi Meridiani, the midday games. Victims, the noxi, were typically stripped naked, utterly vulnerable. Lions, tigers, bears, boars, even elephants, expertly handled by trainers called bestiari, were unleashed. Roman cruelty found creative outlets, staging these deaths as perverse mythological reenactments. Criminals might be dressed as Orpheus, only to be torn apart by bears. The purpose was manifold: brutal elimination, mass entertainment, a terrifying deterrent, and a stark display of Roman power, reducing humans to mere prey, stripped of dignity, their remains often denied proper burial. The scale, especially in venues like the Colosseum, was immense. Now we confront crucifixion, the infamous summum supplicium, or extreme penalty. While familiar, its reality was far more varied and agonizing than often depicted. Primarily reserved for slaves, rebels, pirates, and non-citizens guilty of crimes like sedition, it was Rome's ultimate tool of subjugation and terror. Roman citizens initially were spared this degradation. Forget the single image, crosses varied. The crux simplex was a simple stake, the commissa T-shaped, the decusata X-shaped, and sometimes victims were simply tied to trees. The process was a meticulously staged journey into agony. It began with everbaratio, a savage scourging using the flagellum, a whip often tipped with bone or metal shredding flesh. Then, the condemned shouldered the patibulum, the heavy crossbeam weighing around 45 kilograms, carrying it through jeering crowds, to an execution site strategically placed outside city walls for maximum visibility. Wrists were typically nailed between the forearm bones, the radius and ulna, for better support, not through the palms. The victim was then hoisted onto the upright stake, the stipes, and their feet nailed or tied, knees bent. Death came slowly, primarily from asphyxiation. To breathe, the victim had to push up with their legs or pull with their arms, scraping against the rough wooden nails, causing excruciating pain. This cycle of struggle and brief relief led inevitably to exhaustion, shock, dehydration, and finally, suffocation. A small peg or seat, the seeds sometimes included, wasn't mercy. It slightly supported the body to prevent rapid suffocation, thereby prolonging the torture. Victims hung naked, exposed to sun, insects, and scavenging animals, often left to decompose for days, a terrifying public warning denying the crucial rites of burial. Consider the 6-0 followers of Spartacus, crucified along the Appian Way, a chilling testament to its scale. Occasionally, executioners performed crurifragium, breaking the legs to cause rapid asphyxia and hasten the end. These Roman punishments reveal justice as brutal theatre, calculated terror reinforcing social divides through chilling symbolism. This calculated cruelty starkly contrasts Rome's famed engineering and law, painting a disturbing picture of ancient power. If you manage to watch this without flinching too much, perhaps reward your bravery with a like. Which punishment absolutely floored you? Drop a comment below. We promise not to judge harshly. And subscribe for more history. It's guaranteed to be less painful than anything the Romans devised.